What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the Fire Squad boss battle, or the red stage for the boss battle. A lot of people are going to struggle with this. A lot of people are struggling with it. I'm number uno struggling with this because this is really hard. So for a slight context, this came out season 5 on the other versions, and on global version they've released it season 2. So as of right now, there's not very many options when it comes to beating a lot of these stages. The easiest one to beat is the fire stage, or the red stage, which is what we're going to be going over today. Now, I will say that somewhere in the title, thumbnail, description, it will state that we're doing Nightmare mode, or the strategy to beat Nightmare mode, and that is not a lie. Using this strategy is how you beat Nightmare mode. However, there's one in particular thing that you need to beat Nightmare mode, and I don't have it. If you didn't watch the Julius Summon videos, especially in particularly this part 2 ones that just released a few hours ago or a day ago, will be linked down in the summon playlist below, and probably on an iCard somewhere on screen. We're summoning for the Julius skill page because I don't have it yet, and that is the primarily thing that you need to beat the final stage, or Nightmare. You know, it's 260,000. I've seen people beat it at like 180, 190,000 team power, but you have to have that Julius page, and you have to be really lucky when it comes to getting crits and getting the debuffs that procced. Now, real quickly, we're going to go over what the Julius skill page does, and when I'm explaining the strategy and running through it on the hard mode, you'll understand why we need to have that that skill page. I don't know why I clicked mages like I have the skill page. Again, if you haven't watched some of the videos, I definitely suggest it. It's unbearable, to tell you the truth. So his skill page, 60% chance to inflict a 10% reduced mobility debuff on all enemies except the designated target. Really good because it's another reduced mobility debuff, and that's how you beat this boss. That's the only way you're going to beat him on Nightmare mode, because he hits like a truck, he moves fast. We're going to go over every little thing on his kit, and you'll see why he's so hard. So go to Nightmare mode, click over here, look at the passive. So grants immunity to status elements. You can't stun him, so don't even try. Go over here, his other passive is upon taking damage, there's a 70% chance to grant self a 40% increased mobility buff. He also has, upon fighting against a favorite enemy, increases damage dealt by 95%. So you don't want to take units that are green because they're going to get destroyed. We do have Nebra on the team, which we'll go into why, but she's extremely useful, but we only need her for like 2 turns tops. And inflicts buff immunity on all enemies. So you cannot buff yourself. So trying to nuke with you know, any other, like Asta or Kaido or something like that, you can't buff yourself, so you can't nuke them. You can still use Kaido, obviously, but it's not going to be as useful. So that's what he does. So here's the strategy. We have Nebra on the team for one main reason. So we go over to skills. Skill 2, sorry, has a 40% chance to inflict a transform status element on enemy, which means you can't take action on own turn. But the biggest thing here that we're going for, besides, you know, the reduced defense, is the buff immunity. If you get Nebra to proc her buff immunity turn 1, which is guaranteed, by the way, if you get her to proc it turn 1, then the boss cannot buff himself, which is really nice. That's a game changer. If you don't have Nebra's skill page, I suggest trying to get it. But there's also one other person that does buff immunity, and I think it's... where is he at? He's down here. I think he does buff immunity. Let's see. I thought he did buff immunity. Probably, I guess not. Maybe I'm thinking about someone else. I just can't think of him right now. But that's the whole point of bringing Nebra, is so that way you can get the buff immunity and the reduced defense on her, and then on the boss, and also, you know, with the combined attack, it's giving incapacitate level 4, which is really nice. Of course, we have Julius there for nuking, and then also when he has his skill page, which obviously I don't have the skill page here, you get that that reduced speed, which is really nice, which is going to slow down the boss. And of course we have Lotus for the basic debuffs to slow him down. Yeah, to slow him down, give him incapacitate, reduce speed, buff removal, extend duration, damage resistance lowering. And of course Mars is here for also decrease speed, when he does a combined attack with Lotus, he has a chance to lower speed as well, and plus the taunt. You know, the stun's useless here. It just extra damage after a while. The reduced defense is nice, but mainly they're just for the taunt. So that is the strategy. Let's go ahead and start up the mission. Well, this is 260,000. We cannot do that. Let's go back to hard. Like I said, we're going to be running it on hard, but the strategy works exactly the same. It's just you have to get a little bit more luckier when it comes to make sure you get all the reduced speeds. And of course, the boss has more health, so you have to make sure you get a lot more crits. So turn 1, he's always going to attack Julius. You know, so this is what you do. You go for this right here, the skill 2, with the buff immunity, bam, and reduced defense. That's nice. Here, what you would do is you would take his second skill. We're going to run it just like it would. Like I said, I don't have the reduced defense on mine, not the reduced mobility. You hit him with skill 2. You hope he reduces his mobility. If he doesn't reduce his mobility, then it changes what you do on Mars's turn. But let's say he didn't do the reduced mobility, so we're going to go for incapacitate here, which, you know, has a chance to lower speed. We need the reduced speed. We got the reduced speed buff there. So here, if your Julius does not reduce his speed, then you then need to reduce his speed more with Mars. If not, then you can go for the taunt. The taunt isn't always going to hit. It's only a 70% chance for my skill. So we're just going to say that he missed because obviously I don't have it. We're going for the combined attack onto the boss. Boom. Guaranteed reduced speed. I think I saw reduced speed there. Here, you do not use Nebra's ultimate. You use the combined attack. So you get the incapacitate level 4. Julius also get attacks to get some more damage off. And then you do Julius's ultimate. Now here, really just the matter is if you crit or not. If you don't crit, it's going to be a little harder. You might have to reset. Or you might have to take a few more turns. I hope you survive. We have for 103,000. That's not horrible, but nowhere close to the best. Typically, you want to knock him down to almost all the way down. I didn't crit right then, so it didn't help too much. Boom, extend the debuffs. So that way he has that buff immunity. We're going to taunt here. We did not get the taunt. That hurt a lot. Now, if this was nightmare mode, we'd be dead. At least one of the characters would be dead, especially Nebra. But thankfully we're doing hard mode. But the strategy still works the same. Like I said, you really just want to make sure you get that crit with Julius and all the speed. If you get all the speed downs, you get the crit with Julius, and you get the taunts with Mars, you will win 100% of the time. So we got the taunt there, but see how he increases mobility. See, now Nebra's dead, but she did what she had to do. Julius is back up. We're going to keep just trucking along. We get 63,000. That's nice. And then hopefully, yeah, so Mars will be able to finish this because Mars won't die from this because Mars is so tanky. And then bam, we'll just do this, and that is the run. Like I said, it works exactly the same way on nightmare mode. You might have to take a few more turns, and it really just depends. You really want all the speed downs. In the best world possible, you get Julius speed down, you get Lotus speed down, maybe even speed down with Mars, or a taunt turn on Mars's first turn. If you don't get taunt, if you don't decide not to taunt Mars's first turn, you definitely need to taunt his second turn, and you get that speed down the first turn. Get the incapacitate, combined attack with Nebra, and then the crit with Julius. That's the best run that you can physically do. Again, guys, I apologize for not literally being able to farm the nightmare mode and show y'all exactly step by step there. I'm doing the best I can with what I have since they released this way too early. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you drop a like. Let me know down in the comment section below if you and your guildmates are even able to complete nightmare mode, or if you're having trouble doing hard mode. If you are having trouble doing hard mode, hopefully, you know, this has helped you some. Anyway, guys, I'll see you the fuck later. Peace.